into my watch, will I?
Cause I'm a cowboy
On
a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted, dead or alive.
Oh,
You're welcome. They've all gone.
yeah, that's it.
Hi guys.
Hey
this shit?
everyone. Yeah, that's in tribute to. Oh jeez, God, mute. Always should mute.
Always mute.
Oh, there's some feedback there.
Yeah, jeez.
Howdy.
That was a tribute to Discovery going on the run. So spoiler alerts, we're talking about the latest episode of Discovery, which is If Memory Serves. If memory serves that I remember that right. And we're just blown away.
Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. From like the opening recap of the cage with the old style, I loved it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You know, I keep seeing these polls on Twitter saying, "What's your favourite episode of Discovery so far?" And I look at them and go, that one. But now I've got a clear winner today. This is probably
That's the thing. Each time everyone comes out, it's just going to be your favourite.
But I think with Discovery, it's much harder to have a favourite episode because there's one continuous story. So it's like you could maybe eventually have a favourite season rather than episode.
So who have we got here tonight? We've got Stephen. Hi, Stephen.
Howdy, Stephen.
We hope you're well.
The rest of them ran because we were singing.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Martin.
It was a fantastic episode.
Really good episode.
Really good. Let's see what's happened there. Chat's gone a bit funny. Sorry about the chat on the screen.
Like a ghost image. I think it looks alright on this one.
Yeah.
In the background.
No, I don't.
Oh no, it doesn't.
No,
It's gone shit. Sorry.
Sorry
about that. Yeah. Oh, do you love the jacket? Thank you. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Actually, it's kind of a bit. It's hot. It's hot. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, hi Ferguson.
No, from Ferguson, Missouri.
His name's
Oh. Being live, you can't beat it, eh?
That's true. That's true. So much happened in this episode. So you just said you just watched The Cage.
I literally watched The Cage this week. I thought,
so
you kept talking about it, and that was a good call.
You got the Easter eggs.
Yay! No, that was a good call, and it was a weird episode.
What, The Cage?
Yeah.
Oh, God,
I was going all through this, I didn't know if it was season 1 or season 2. I had no idea it was the pilot. I was like, I can't find it. And I went all the way, it's the pilot.
The pilot.
What a random episode.
Yeah.
No wonder everyone thought Gene Roddenberry was mad. It's a bit, and it's sexist, I guess, back in the, day.
Absolutely.
I was quite surprised. But then you guys were surprised to learn that this is actually after that.
Yeah.
You thought it was before.
Yeah, we had it all wrong. So we apologise for our slip up there. We actually thought this was in the future, but
it was never stated, was it?
Well, we should know. I mean, you should know. It was stated in
bad
this episode.
Trekkies right now.
Yeah, we're all Trekkies. No, they did. Hi, Tim and Zuma. They did state at the beginning of this episode. They were quite clear, weren't they? But I mean, I knew when Discovery started that it was to be in the future, that the cage hadn't happened yet, but then I guess got swept up with Discovery and didn't realise it had kind of occurred.
Because
I believe that to be true. I don't know. Don't trust anything I say.
You guys were trying to figure out how the Pike that we know and love in this Discovery becomes the Pike in the cage, but it doesn't. It's almost like whatever happened to him during the cage made him the Pike he is now.
Maybe he is the way he is in the cage is because he knows the war's going on, the Klingon war's going on, and he's not part of it. And because he comes back quite disillusioned about that.
That is a good call. That is a really good call.
Put it out there.
I like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Tim, yes. Amazing
fantastic.
episode. Absolutely amazing.
I feel like last week's episode there was so much happening.
Yes.
It was really difficult to take it all in. Whereas lots happened in this episode, but it was a little bit more digestible. They've just picked out a couple of those threads and they've woven them together now. So Burnham's back on Discovery, which is always a good thing.
Yes.
And they're not just weaving. It's not just weaving things in the series. It's not just tying together whole lots of things. but it was also weaving in the whole of Star Trek.
I know,
found.
Yes.
Making
Well,
the cage so much more relevant.
This is the thing. So they've opened with the opening episode of the original series, but they've also brought in the JJ films, haven't they? I'm telling you this way because I feel like I'm.
Yeah. Also, everyone's uncomfortably close. Uncomfortably close is what I always say.
That moment.
That when he was on the planet,
Yeah.
like we all
I
gasped.
know
Yeah.
we did, didn't
Because
we?
he's on the planet
Right.
that he's in the JJ films, and people are like, oh, you know, you mustn't confuse the timelines and you mustn't confuse the series. I was like, this is what Discovery's doing. I think
Threading it all together.
wasn't there a little bit of upset when they created another timeline
Oh,
and destroyed
God,
Vulcan?
yeah.
Just, I mean, Star Trek. All they have to do is, I don't know,
Change
Drop-
the uniform.
drop a tricorder and you've upset.
Yeah, that's it.
I
But
don't-
there was, wasn't there? People
Yeah.
didn't like it.
No,
You know,
no.
it got a bit confusing as to what was happening when. So this is almost their way of bringing it all back.
As Trek Addict says, came full circle.
I
Yes.
like it.
Yes.
Now I'm liking the way this is
Okay,
going.
I'm going to put it out there.
Mm.
Was it me or was there more lens flare in this episode
Oh,
than
yes.
any
Oh,
other episode ever?
I was
I was
thinking-
like, oh my
I was
god.
thinking, is there something wrong with Sam's telly? Why is there a
No.
blue
I
line
was
on
like,
it?
oh my god, this is such a nod to JJ in the subtlest little way.
It's so funny you say that because I thought there was lens flare, but then when it would cut to Talos for the style, the sort of directorial style, the cut seemed like it was from the cage, from the TOS. So it kind of was really,
Well done. Very, very well done.
Yeah.
kind of put your mind mentally in those different time
Exactly, yeah.
frames. Well played, well played, very well done.
I was very pleased to see Melissa George playing Vina.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know who she is.
She originally she was in Home and Away
I was thinking
years
that,
ago,
yeah.
but
Really?
she's quite not a big actress in America, but she's quite a sort of character actress in
Yeah.
America now.
I
I
can't wait,
recognise someone.
I can't wait to cosplay her.
I know.
I got her hair and everything.
But I love the fact that he did genuinely seem to have feelings for her, or compassion for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That scene was mesmerising to me. I was like,
Yeah.
That was good.
that was
Yeah.
good.
It was good to see them it was good to see Pike being a bit more outside his, he's a lovely captain. We love him, don't we?
We do.
We love him a
Seeing
lot.
him as a human being.
But sort of see that emotional side of him, not him caring for the crew, but actually acknowledging his own feelings was really nice.
But still, did not give you the chills when it got to the end. And he's like, I can't ask you to stand with me. And they're like, set a course. I'm like, oh,
I
you
know.
don't inside with him. I love that.
Tim's mentioned about the whole Culber storyline. What's going on there?
That was, poor couple.
Stamets, poor broken.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But I think, looking at it from a counselling point of view, they're both both of them are going through very different processes. He's back from the dead, I don't know, new territory for the therapist. But also, Stamets is going through the bereavement process. He was in the bereavement process.
Well, he hadn't got rid of his things yet, so clearly he hadn't got out of that.
No.
So.
So
How good was the scene between
Oh.
Pike and Saru?
When he's telling him
So you just let it
Play
play
out.
out. I have a feeling that this wouldn't have happened before your evolution.
that was a really nice scene. I loved that. I love that they acknowledged that, that both of them were right, and they kind of acknowledged that,
This
didn't they?
is uncharted territory.
Yeah.
One is sort of, has a Klingon sort of
Graft
fused to his
to
bones,
bones.
and the other one is, back from the dead. It's not really rules written on that. Love it. Yeah, I thought Melissa George was very good as Vina as well.
Yeah,
I thought she was very good.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm glad they brought her back as well. And I thought the Telosians were brilliant. But that is really funny you mentioned about the filming style with the lens flares, and I noticed that on Talos as well. And then we got the whole Arium thing.
Oh, I don't want bad Arium.
No.
I like bad Arium. Arium's interesting.
I wonder what he's trying to, because we were wondering last time whether the Red Angel had sent her the messages in with the 3 dots, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like it is. It
No.
looks like it's an enemy
Maybe
force.
Section
Trying to
31.
stop
So
the Red Angel.
they were like missiles that blew up all the planets. That was that scene. Was that what Burnham saw? It basically wiped out existence. Something blew up all the planets. And we saw Earth blow up and Saturn blow up. Now that looked a lot like that probe, I thought.
So it's almost like there's an enemy from maybe 500 years in the future, maybe, perhaps.
Yeah.
that probe that came back was 500 years in the future, wasn't it? And then
a human has come back in time
Yeah.
to try and change the time.
It's like-
it does look female. I
I
would
think it
agree
looks
with you
female.
that it looks female.
it's got those
Yeah.
hips, those hips don't lie.
Don't lie. Yeah.
I'm still going with Pike.
You think it's Pike?
I still think it's Pike. Human, this goes through a lot of changes. I'm still standing with Pike.
I read on Shitty Daystrom that it could be Picard, which at first sounds a bit shit, doesn't it? But then you think about it, and you think back to, is he maybe going to pick up Spock's work? He had that special relationship with Spock.
True.
And there is a Picard series
There's
coming.
a Picard series
It's coming.
coming. Is he going? But why would he do it? Why would he?
One wonders why the Red Angel's picked now. Like who sets about these events? Do you think it's Georgiou? Because she's, clearly she's got her own way. That guy's out, isn't he? Whatever his name's, Leyland's out, isn't he?
Yeah.
She's set him up good and proper.
Mm.
I still love her.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
if she
Georgiou,
does turn out to be bad. I
I
love
love
her.
what you posted about her knowing about because of the.
Oh yes, someone. It wasn't. I shared something that someone else had tweeted. That Georgiou, Empress Georgiou. This was. I can't remember off the top of my head who tweeted it, but we retweeted them. That Georgiou, Empress Georgiou, she had access to the Defiant files, so she knows. She very well could know Burnham's future and the Discovery's future in the same way in A Mirror Darkly that the Archer and Hoshi were able to access their files and find out about their futures because the Defiant's 10 years in the future. So, maybe she's
manipulating events.
Maybe she's manipulating things.
Well,
Maybe
she's
she's
obviously
making.
manipulating
She's maybe but
I think
what
Georgiou's
end,
probably too much of an obvious choice to be the reason that it
Who,
all
sorry?
go. Georgiou's probably the
I don't think she's the reason. I think
key to this, because Georgiou keeps saying, "Oh, I know stuff about you," doesn't she? And there was something said tonight, and I thought let's put her at the centre of it again. She's like pivotal for some reason.
I thought it was interesting. I don't know whether this connects to what you just said, Sarah, but I wonder whether when Spock said you should have died that night, like you were going to die that night, I saw your death.
Yeah.
Are we talking,
She should have
something
died.
changed,
The butterfly effect.
Trek Profiles is making some very interesting points here, actually.
I just
and,
yeah.
Oh, hi, Rashid. About Stamets and being tone deaf with Hugh.
I think Stamets is the most emotional person anyway. He was always, like Colber said, you were always at work, you were always in engineering, you never made us dinner.
Yeah.
So I think he's struggling to deal with the emotions that he's feeling, because I don't think he's ever been that person as well. I wonder if it's the Borg.
We
Sorry.
the same wine. Let's get a drink first.
Let's mix it up a bit.
Need a drink. Blending in Star Trek themed drinks. So today, oh my god, there's so many. Oh, thank you. There's so many blue drinks out there. So we thought we'd go with Andorian Ale tonight, because we bought the blue Caraco for.
We might as well use it.
Just use it every week. So I haven't tried this.
You have the coolest shot glasses.
Oh, thank you.
They always seem to be served in shot glasses, so
They look very futuristic.
There are many shots in the future.
I wonder what Pike was drinking today. It was clear.
Oh,
I
I
thought
loved his bar cart. His little bar trolley.
There's a little
That
trolley.
was so fancy. I love
Fancy.
that. So
Fancy.
this is blue cracker, vodka, and lemonade. Tintin.
Good night.
Oh, that's delicious.
It's not too bad actually.
It's like
Interesting.
it tastes like
Good,
red
it smells-
lemonade.
Yeah, I was going to say it smells
Sounds like
like
what?
Red lemonade.
Red lemonade.
Have you never had red lemonade? Oh,
What's red lemonade?
it's
Ooh.
lemonade, but it's red.
So it's lemonade with blackcurrant.
No, not
Oh.
blackcurrant. I'm not sure what the flavouring is in it, but yeah, it tastes like.
Well, vomiting ale is very good. When I saw ale, I thought maybe should be blue caracu with, I don't know, ale. We don't like that.
We don't like that. This is much nicer than
yucky.
anything Ale would.
Yeah, this is actually pretty good. So recommend that one.
Mm.
Okay. Cool. So now we have a drink.
Should we do What the Spock?
Yeah, let's do What the Spock.
What the Spock? We haven't actually thought this through. I don't know
So
what the Spock is.
My What the Spock is, okay, the revelation of what happened to him as a kid.
Oh.
With Michael, how cute was that?
Do you think he's ever going to forgive her?
I think he's already forgiven her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in his way he's already forgiven her.
But he chose the Vulcan side.
Yeah, but we know that's not entirely true.
He smiled at the end of
He
it.
smiled.
Yeah.
We know our Spock. There's...
And I wonder whether as well part of that's because he maybe is now time fluid. That's kind of what I was talking about.
Him a whole new...
Time fluid. And there was a lot of... My mind just kept going to Cisco. Yeah, time fluid. What is this? So, and him scribbling on the floor like a madman. Very Cisco.
Very Cisco.
And this whole time is not linear thing. Very Captain Cisco. So...
Goes back to my outrageous theory last week.
Cisco is the Red Angel.
Yeah.
We still don't know what the 7 signals are, do we? Seven lights.
No, that he foresaw.
Mm.
I know. So yeah, and I've been thinking about siblings on Star Trek recently, and
I just remembered something. Christoph said something last week about the Facebook comments don't show in the thing. So people maybe people are talking to us on Facebook. It suddenly just dawned on me. Christoph said something about it on Facebook. There might not be anyone there that loves us, but there's no Facebook comments in there, so I'm wondering if we're missing people. If we are missing you, we're sorry.
Oh, sorry about that. I'll look into that next week. I don't know why I'm not seeing any on the actual Facebook thingy-majig. If I close that, will it?
Did you break it, Sam?
I broke it.
Systems down, Captain.
And
I loved the beard joke. I loved the beard joke, the banter between Bern and Spock.
That's what I was about to say.
That the beard was going to work.
That moment where they were both talking like the acting, the dialogue,
they bounced off each other so well. The casting is just phenomenal.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was saying about siblings. I've been thinking about siblings on Star Trek, and like I don't see a lot of siblings that reflect
actual siblings.
Like me and John, and then today when I saw Spock and Michael kind of dueling a bit, I saw a bit of me and John in there, and I thought, oh yeah, that's how you talk to your brother, when he gets a bit too smart, you criticise the beard, that's that kind of...
And he thought about it as well, he was like...
So that was really good. I like where they mixed it up with the children as well.
Spock was so
cute.
Little
Spock,
Spock,
adorable, that little kid.
I love him.
And little Michael as well. She's just adorable.
No. Sam broke the internet. Kim Kardashian, eat your heart out. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
That was a good one.
I think this is the problem with this episode and last week's. In fact, there was so much to talk about and that we loved from beginning to end. We're like, we could do an hour segment.
I know, we could.
Send this. Semitic.
Yes.
Yay!
She was.
We loved her.
I'm still not. I still ruled out that they're same with Arium or Badium as Trek profile.
Badium.
That's not related somehow. I'm still not ruling that out until I hear a definite reason, which might not be. If it's not resolved by the end of the series, we'll find out in the 20-year reunion of STLB.
Actually, every convention we go to, big question.
No, don't ask the Trekkie girls. They'll ask that question again.
Yeah.
Maybe just the prosthetics gave her hives or something.
I'm sure it might be saying mundane like that, but until they say, I'm not ruling out that there's like not weird about.
No. We're totally with you there.
And if it's something really boring, fair enough.
The Talusians still have the little pulsating veins in their head.
Yeah.
So the reason they got that Talos, was it 4? Talos 4 is off limits is because of what they can do.
Yeah,
they can make you see anything you want.
Yeah.
So they're not evil per se.
Well,
they could be.
Well, yeah, they're not great.
Because
they kind of. I think as long as you cooperate, they're fine.
Yeah.
But
I think the suggestion was that they can evasively steal your memories as well.
Yeah, if they wanted to.
Yeah.
So that's why it's off limit. It's not as we would think of the Prime Directive, because they're quite an advanced species, so they know that it's all out there, but they're just dangerous. Exactly. It's like you wouldn't, if the Borg had a planet, you wouldn't really go there.
Don't go there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just checking.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm really interested with the Arian story. I wonder if they work it out quite soon.
This Arium looks way meaner than Ceramitic's Arium. I don't know what it is.
It's the way they zoom in on her eyes.
Yeah, those
I
three
guess
red
you
lights.
could-
And she's going to be so good at covering her tracks, and she knows to blame Tyler.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, poor Tyler. I thought he was going to get put in the brig at one point.
I know.
I liked. Oh, I've forgotten her
Oh yeah.
dress.
Oh yes, I saw
Yeah,
that.
I like her.
That was
Yeah,
really
that's a
nice.
nice little cosplay thrown
did
in
like
there.
that.
I thought she was wearing something different the other day.
Yeah, I know. I've been trying to get a closer look at it.
Mm.
Yeah, I did notice
her
that today. I
dress.
did
What is
like
she? A
that.
I want to say
She's a
beige.
Barzan.
Bars. I want to say beige or
Yeah. Yeah, all these bees. Yeah, my jacket today. I've got this jacket. I found
nice
it.
bonding.
Yeah.
Bounding.
Bounding.
Bonding.
Yeah, another Sainsbury's find.
Wow.
It's the only shop I ever step in. I only go into a shop once a week on a Friday to get pizza for all of us to watch Discovery and have a little meander around the clothes section. And so I think I'm bounding as one of those really awful AliExpress and eBay Discovery rip-off costumes.
Good.
It's so glowy yellow and horrible.
Very
It's
yellow.
very sweaty.
I wonder what that smells.
Yeah.
I'm joking. You don't smell.
Yeah, so that's my outfit. It was only £10 as well. I wouldn't pay much more for this.
I'm wearing my little Star Trek earrings.
Oh, these are lovely.
My little Star. Oh,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
this way. A little Star Trek earrings from the SF ball.
Beautiful.
Thanks,
So
my birthday present.
I've made the Talosians project me my normal clothes. But I'm really wearing a stuffy uniform under it.
Oh, I love it.
And your face is all scarred up.
Exactly, yeah. You don't really know.
Remind me to show you.
Never seen the real
me.
I saw some boots that were very, very Discovery-esque.
Really?
Ooh.
They're even less obtainable than actual Discovery
Okay.
boots because, what's her
Like
name?
Louis Vuitton or something?
Willow Smith was wearing them. It
Mm.
might have been at the Louis Vuitton. They were like knee-high things, but they had the gold. Oh, I'll show you later. They were
Yeah,
perfect.
There we go.
Yeah, even less obtainable
You
than actual
see
stuff.
Willow Smith pull off her boots.
Yeah. Give us those
Whatever
boots.
they look like, we don't care.
They were very Discovery-esque.
Tell you what,
Mm.
Andorian ale and wine together, not so good.
No, headache in the morning.
No, it's like literally taste. I don't care about tomorrow yet.
Oh.
That's future sounds problem.
Yes, I am not time fluid. You will be soon.
Good luck with
Unlike
that.
Spock, I just have to worry about right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now the taste isn't good.
Yeah. Memes. Should we do some memes?
Yes.
I don't need to see your boots right now in the middle of a string, dear.
I was going to show the people.
Show the people.
Yeah.
Oh, this one. I like this one. I just love Star Trek memes. I just really enjoy them. That one made me laugh.
Mhm.
That might be the only one.
Oh.
Oh no, hang on. So that one I think is by
Wendy,
Is that by
darling.
Wendy Darling
Oh,
on the Positive Fans thingamajig?
Okay.
Oh yeah. And then this one, I might have shown this last week, I can't
No,
remember.
I've
No,
not
no,
seen that one
no.
before.
Oh yeah. I know bits on it, it's political.
You have to take shots if you mention certain things.
If I mention the B word, Sarah makes me take a shot. After last week's stream, Sarah went home and me and Carol really went for it politically, didn't we?
We did. Oh god,
Like,
it's
oops,
bad.
sorry, I always click that one, don't I?
On the spot.
Yeah, as soon as Sarah goes home, we're allowed to talk about politics again.
So Neil made them take shots of creme de menthe.
Yeah.
Months and Baileys.
Yeah.
It was good. At the
Oh,
time.
yeah, it was good at the time.
Yeah.
That
You
worked.
guys
Yeah.
are crazy.
Oh, thank you. I know how to pick up a bargain. You tell my husband that. Yeah, so shall we do our last section of the day? Because this is going to take a bit.
Oh, we didn't do our disco
We've got
star.
a disco star last
Can I
week.
tell you my disco star from last week?
Right, let me just put the thing.
What was the episode?
I don't know if I even have the music on here anymore. I took it off because of copyrights.
Stay alive.
Okay. Get back.
My disco star from last week was Reese because
Aw.
he managed
Say
to.
something.
Yes, which was a huge achievement. But no, he understood Pike's plasma release,
Oh,
3 beams
yes.
of plasma release,
He
so
did.
he actually saved them by recognising that signal.
Oh.
Well done. I love the way you always go for the underdog, like the person who doesn't get much credit. So
Yeah.
sweet.
But boost them.
Yeah.
Mm.
I like that. What about?
This week or last?
You don't have to remember
either.
last week.
Okay.
This week?
I think this week I'm going to give it to Spock. Because it was actually nice to see Spock being the Spock we will eventually know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was really nice as that. Spock.
I was really close to going with Spock. I thought Ethan Peck was brilliant.
Oh, he's
really
really
enjoyed
good.
him.
Very good choice.
I thought the banter with Mike was really
yeah.
good. But I'm going to give it to Hugh Goldberg.
Oh, good choice.
Oh.
I thought he did really
Rude,
well. Going from that lovely, happy Doctor to that really angry. You could see it in him. He, as soon as you saw him walk to.
So your disco
Doctor
star's
forward.
really Wilson Cruz.
Yes.
Yeah, phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Phenomenal.
Oh, God.
Yes.
I'm going to go with Saru for just being really funny and cool.
Like it.
Excellent.
I loved
I love that.
Jones' tweet he put out where he was all sassy.
Sassy, yeah. I liked when this isn't a disco song, but when Tilly was like, "Step into my office."
Oh,
I
Tilly's
was
just
like,
hilarious.
I love her so much.
And she seems so much more comfortable in herself in the second
Yes,
series, doesn't
yeah,
she?
yeah. She's
So she's okay making those jokes and not apologising for it, I guess.
good old Detmer, just speaking for everybody at the
yeah.
end. Shut up, Captain. Where are we going? Let's do this.
Yes.
And the say goodbye, Spock. Which
Oh,
I don't know.
Bye, Spock.
I don't know if they've ever said that in TOS, whether that's a lift, because sometimes I'm sure Data said it. Say goodbye, Data. Goodbye,
Good
Data.
Data.
I'm sure he's done that.
I'm sure he's done
But with many Data quotes, sometimes they do come from Spock, don't they? So if anyone knows if Spock ever said to goodbye Spock before, that'd be brilliant. But yeah, that was one of my favourite moments.
yeah.
Say goodbye Spock. Yeah.
It was a really good episode.
Really, really, really good top one.
that.
One of my favourites. So we can't wait for next week.
No.
Oh,
Can't believe we're so far through the series. There's so few left
I
now.
know.
How many episodes are left?
I looked the other day. I think
5?
we got into about like mid-end April.
That's not
Yeah,
far.
it's not
That's
too far, is it?
no.
And then that, of course, brings us on to the Picard news.
And there is a season 3. Did we cover
Yes.
that last
Yes,
week?
no, we didn't. No.
Yeah, there was going to be a
Season
season
three.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Picard series. I keep seeing lots of news articles
I've
that I
seen
just
lots of
click
them,
on,
yeah.
I read them and go, why do I even waste 30 seconds of my time clicking that link? And but they've announced 2 actors, haven't they? Santiago.
Hello, good looking.
I know, she's alright, isn't she?
I recognise them both.
Do
actually.
you? I don't.
recognise them
I
both.
watch
know
a lot
the
more
guy.
TV than I do. Yeah.
I know the guy.
I'm not sure it's 3 Musketeers I know him from, but I definitely recognise his
If
face
you-
from somewhere.
Yeah, it's a
6
moustache.
episodes. Oh my god, that's
Oh
6 weeks.
God.
Oh my gosh.
Awful.
I know her from somewhere as well.
That's Michelle Hunt. I believe her name is it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know them from anything because I only watch.
You
Star
don't really know
Trek.
popular TV,
I
do
don't. I don't really
Watch anything other than
really
Star
watch
Trek.
Star Trek, do I?
you? You binge watch the odd series, but
Yeah. Yeah, they've got to be like quite well known and established before I watch them.
I was going to say, years and years ago we met Benedict Cumberbatch. Sam had no idea who he was, except that he'd be in Star Trek. Into Darkness.
and he was fairly famous at that point, wasn't he?
He was the biggest star in the world. He was the most Googled man in the world at the time.
Carol,
No idea.
yeah. Google that. Carol fangirling over Benedict Cumberbatch. It's
Don't
funny.
Google, just look on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on our channel.
Mhm.
Us interviewing Benedict Cumberbatch for
Yeah.
Carol Fangirls,
Mhm.
and like it's like this, it's like
Literally, there is a breath like that.
Oh, well, that's all we got time for tonight, folks. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your comments and just joining in the discussion. And we hope to see you again next week.
Same time
Yeah.
next week.
Take
We'll have
care.
Facebook working then.
Yeah, we'll fix that. Sorry about that. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.